Africa is full of opportunities, and I think what we did was to actually harness fully the opportunities that
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Top 10 Rules for Success. Today we are featuring a billionaire that is also a Nigerian by the name Aliko Dangote. Yes, he's a philanthropist, a businessman. In capital letters, I'll say that again, he's a businessman. He knows the in and out of business. And what I'm about to bring to you is his top 10 rules for success. His estimated net worth is actually well over what? 13.5 billion dollars. Ladies and gentlemen, ensure you stay to the very end because, hello, you're about to hear from a billionaire. See you.
I mean, to be serious, if you want to be the next Dangote, is that you have to have a very big heart. You have to take quite a lot of risk, calculated risk. First of all, you have to make sure that you're honest. You must make sure that you don't destroy the name, because your name is very important. That's the most valuable asset that you have going forward. Because if you don't have a good name, even the banks, doesn't matter how big you are, they're not going to touch you. True. At all. So you must make sure that you have a very, very good name. And number 3, you have to make sure that you say that, look, nothing is impossible. Once you say that, yes, nothing is impossible, it means that you can actually achieve that target. Dangote, you need a bit of luck, but hard work. To be an entrepreneur and also to be a visionary person, you have to actually be very, very bold. You have to be ready to take calculated risk, not just any risk. You have to take a calculated risk, and you have to think big. If you think small, you will always remain small in life. So these are the 3 things which you have to do, and you must be consistent. When you try a business and you start, you might have hiccups here and there, but it does not mean that that business is not going to work. There must be challenges. In fact, what I keep saying is that life without challenges is very, very boring. So if you have challenges, you just have to know how to work out or how to work around these challenges, and you will be successful once you are consistent. What business doesn't like is for you to try something, and then once you have 1 or 2 problems, now you want to change and move into another business. That doesn't work in business. I see a lot of people, even the younger ones, we need to be also very, very careful, because one of the biggest issues with us Africans is that we spend our projected incomes. Once you start doing business starts doing well, rather than for you to keep reinvesting into the business, you start spending money and thinking that profit will continue to come. There are ups and downs in business, so you need to be very, very focused and say, okay, fine, what do you do and how do you do those things?
So you're not supposed to buy a Porsche car or...
No, you are not supposed to do that. You see, because those luxury things, they also take up your time, which will not make you focus on your business. It's like I don't have any holiday home anywhere.
Yeah.
I don't have a house anywhere, but I know people who are working for me, they have a house in London, but I don't.
The key secret to your success has been?
Hard work. I believe that, we're a very focused company. We don't really go into things that we don't understand. Any business that I don't understand it well, I don't do it at all. And that's really why, why we are successful. Somebody has to lead anyway. And that's what we are trying to do. Once we lead, you will now see some people coming on board to say, hey, okay, fine, look. You see, because the real thing about wealth, what will make you to enjoy it and also be happy that, yes, you are rich, is actually how many lives you can touch.
Absolutely.
While you are alive, and that's what, I think we need to do. We'll concentrate, we'll give more as God continues to bless us. We also have to pay back, give back to the society. Well, the problem with some of our younger generation today, they just want to jump and see themselves up there, overnight. It doesn't really happen. What you need to do is to be very, very focused as a person and be dedicated to whatever that you are doing. It is not really good for you to now go and try something, then after a month you just say, no, it doesn't work. you jump into something else. I think you need to be very, very focused in what you are doing. Once you believe in what you are doing, you see, you should not take your either business or job as something that you must do. Okay, you must take it as it's part of your hobby. If it's part of your hobby, then nobody will come and develop this economy but only us. And when we start, the others will see and then they will follow. But if you turn it the reverse, where we will sit down, we'll expect foreigners to come and develop our economy in Africa, it will never ever happen. So we need to take charge. And that's what we've done, actually. I'm not saying that the Chinese are not going to come, but I've had this for the last 10, 15 years. And if they are going to come, the market in sub-Saharan Africa is huge for refining. In the next 35, 37 years, we're going to have almost about 2 billion people in Africa. Can anybody afford to take off his eyes from 2 billion people?
A young Ghanaian boy sitting there watching this on television from his sitting room, and after watching the show, what's the next practical step he can take to create change?
Well, the most practical thing is for him to know that, yes, once there's life, there's hope, and he himself, he can make it to the top. You look at a lot of people and say, okay, fine, look, as a young, in fact, you guys, you even have a better future than us because you are well educated. Not only that, today you are talking of IT, teenagers, where things are much easy. When, we were growing up, there was even no mobile phones at all. But right now you have Facebook, you have Twitter, everything is there at your fingertips. What we need is that most of you guys, when you finish your studies, you should come back home and also contribute your quota. Because if you don't really come, then it will put us at a greater disadvantage. Yeah. So you have to come back home and also contribute your own quota. That's what will only change Africa. If you keep staying out there, then Africa will never. What I keep saying is that we Africans, if we don't make Africa great, nobody will do it for us. So the challenges of us to remain here and make sure that we do the right thing is what will not allow us to go outside Africa. Not that we are not really looking for, but because there are enormous opportunities here, which I believe we should try, not only for the monetary part of it, but to make sure that we make Africa.
Suppose somebody's watching this and say, I want to be like Mr. Dangote, I want to be a successful businessman in Africa. What are the attributes, or anywhere, what are the attributes that you think you have brought to the table which make you successful? Is it intelligence, hard work, persistence, all of those things? What would you say are the most important attributes?
I think the most important one, number one, David, if you are going into any business, you must understand the business A to Z. You must know that business. You shouldn't just go and invest because somebody now will say, okay, hey, there's good money in cement, then you go and jump into cement. You have to understand the business in and out. And that's the difference with me. I know my business in and out. You can wake me up any time and ask me about fertilizer, ask me about anything that we are doing. And the other one is really to work very hard, and you have to have the tenacity of continuing to, you have some hiccups here and there, but you have to be focused in terms of what you are doing.
Misconceptions people have about him, when you hear his name, what comes to mind is Dangote salt, Dangote Indomie, Dangote Cement, Dangote this, Dangote that. Yes, so many branches of the whole Dangote industry. But here's the thing: he started with just one source, okay, of business, and that gave him the cash flow for him to expand. The issue, most of you listening to me at this point, is trying to see how you can become Dangote overnight. Nobody. It won't work. It won't work, okay? What I'm trying to say is that focus on one source, allow that source generate cash flow for you, and then you diversify into generating passive leads. Understand that Dangote doesn't have to bring Indomie to your doorstep for you to make money, okay? Now, this is a little bit advanced. If you enjoyed this session, don't forget to share with me your take home in the comment section. And don't forget to share this with friends, families, subscribe before leaving. Thank you for being here.
One day I went to a bank.
Yeah.
You know, at that time there were no restrictions of this, and I wrote a check and cash $10 million, and I took it home.
For yourself?
For myself, yes.
You cashed $10 million from the bank?
Yes.
Yes, and took it?
I put it in the boot of my vehicle, and I went home, and I opened it, and I look at 10 million. I said, that, okay, fine. Now I believe I have money. I know.
So you put this in the bed and slept all night on top of it. You made love to your money.
It was in the boot of my car.
Yeah.
But I brought it, and I went there by myself. I drove myself to the bank. I cashed the money, and I put it in my room, and I look at the money, and I took it back to the bank the next day.
Can I ask you how much money you have in your wallet today?
Today?
Yeah. How much money you have in your pocket?
You'll be very, very surprised. I don't even have, not even $1, nothing.
You have no money on you?
Nothing. Okay. Nothing. I have nothing.
That's money for you guys. When you have money, you don't carry money.